Start game now.
Welcome, retro fans, to Retro Reviews with me, the No Swear Gamer, and today we're going to look at InterAction magazine from the holidays of 1995. I actually owned a subscription to this magazine a long time ago. Not sure why, because this focused exclusively on Sierra games, but mostly on computer games, and I was more of a console gamer. Now, I did enjoy some of Sierra's games on my friend's computer, including the Space Quest series, one of my favorite series of all times as far as point-and-click games go. So that might have been one reason. Another reason why I might have owned it is because I had a Sega CD, and they dipped their toe into Sega CD a little bit with games like Adventures of Willie Beamish and Stellar 7. InterAction is from Sierra. Sierra started in 1979 as online systems before the term online became common vernacular. And they were started by Ken and Roberta Williams, two very influential people in the computer gaming industry. Roberta, in 1980, wrote an Apple II game called Mystery House. Now, before Mystery House, there was these games called text adventures where all you'd see on your screen is just text. You would read something like, "You are in a room," and you would type what you want to do, like turn on light switch, and you had to get it just right for it to work. There was no pictures. And Roberta said, "You know what? What if we added pictures? That would make games so much better." So she added pictures to a text adventure called Mystery House, and it kind of took off from there and eventually led into point-and-click adventures. Some of the games, like the Police Quest series and the King's Quest series, when they first came out, they weren't point-and-click. You had to still type in what you wanted your character to do. So there was still typing involved until later they morphed into the more point-and-click kind of style. Now, Sierra had their own kind of newsletter right away. They had the online letter in 1981 early on for a whopping $1.50 was how much it cost. But then it kind of went dormant until 1987, according to my research, when Sierra newsletter occurred. And then 1989, it became Sierra Magazine. And then finally, in the fall of 1991, they became InterAction. And it lasted until 1999. Now, InterAction was a quarterly magazine. That meant that they had one per season. So you had your fall, your holiday issues, spring, summer, what have you. And this copy, I don't know if you can see it, but it cost $2.95 in the US, $3.95 in Canada. So, I think that's probably typical for the prices of that time. All right, so let's go ahead and pop this guy open, see what's inside. First of all, we have one of these nice fold-out advertisements for the game Shiver. This was happening at a time where Sierra was pushing the envelope a little bit more, especially with games like Shiver and Phantasmagoria, a very controversial, very adult-themed game. This was also at a time when full motion was being incorporated into more games. Think of kind of The Seventh Guest, where you have like the real backdrops. You might have some rendered backdrops, but then you put a full motion figure. And that's what Sierra was starting to do with some of their adventure games. They're going from more of the cartoony look here to more of the realism with full motion adventure. And right here in our table of contents, we see we're going to cover adventure games, action games, home and education games, which are really trying to push. I don't know how much of impact they made in that market. Simulation games and strategy. They were really trying to cover all their bases. They were trying to be more than just a King's Quest kind of company, and they were trying to go from everything from the kids to the adults. So you'd have like the Shiver game on one page, and the next page you might have these kiddie games. So very kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and skip ahead. Here's a little cartoon of Ken Williams, the owner, and it says Ken goes shopping, and it tells some of the companies that he was buying up at the time. And we keep going on, and there's another Gabriel Knight game right there. What you'll notice is some of these pictures that you'll see on some of these pages, you'll probably see again. They recycled a lot of these screenshots throughout their magazines. So Ken's just bragging about everything he bought. This very much was a Nintendo power for Sierra, except it was even more extreme on how much they patted themselves on the back and how great. Every game, reading the article, they're all great because Sierra's telling you they are. Here we have the PAL conference, which must have happened in Europe, right? No, they're talking about print artists. This was a cool feature, Sierra citing. So if one of their games got mentioned in a book or in a comic book or in Mad Magazine, they would talk about it here. here they are patting themselves on the back with some of the awards that Roger Wilco earned, which he deserves. Good guy. Or Dr. Brain earned, so they talk about that. And look at here. Chris Williams, Ken and Roberta's son, who got in this magazine because he's Ken and Roberta's son. There's no other reason that I can think of. He was the voice of Generation Y, so people like him could, relate to people like me. So if I thought his parents were kind of stuffy, hey, I could listen to him. So here he is covering the game Shivers. Hey, look, it's part of a buy two, get one free promotion. And you'll see in their magazines that they do a lot of these promotions, and they just really promote their promotions a lot. And here's the game that could be King's Quest, talking about Torrance Passage. Not familiar with the game, but it does look King's Questy like. And guess what? Torrance Passage, it's part of the buy two, get one free deal. See more details on another page. Yeah, you're going to see a lot. This is almost like a Sierra catalog with a few features more than it is a magazine. And here we have another Gabriel Knight, and I think some of these pictures were in the advertisement we saw earlier. And guess what? Gabriel Knight, part of the buy two, get one free deal. Yeah, so there you go. Let's go ahead and skip a few pages. Here's a cool little thing. They would re-release some of their older games and at a budget price, so you could get something like Stellar 7 for $15 or King's Quest 6. So that was kind of interesting back then. They also had these coupons, which were kind of like rebates. For instance, free strategy guide. So buy the Gabriel Knight game there, and then they will send you the game if you send them the proof of purchase and some money for shipping and all that kind of stuff. So there's the order form you'd fill out. The Last Dynasty, I do not know anything about that game, but yet again, here we got full motion video being incorporated into the games. Love that guy's face right there. That's awesome. And guess what? Last Dynasty is part of the buy two, get one free deal. So, yep, there it goes again. Here's a couple games that they brought back. Lode Runner, The Mad Monk's Revenge, and Thexter for Windows 95. This is not the original Thexter. This was a redone copy. This was happening right when Windows 95, this magazine, was coming out. So they talk about it a little later on. And you can see this game is modem ready. So this is right where the online thing was starting to kick into high gear. So there we got some maps for Thexter. Not a whole lot. It's not really in depth. Oh, guess what? Buy two, get one free for Thexter. And here we go. PC Gamer. So if you want to spend, $47.95, you can get 12 issues of PC Gamer with a CD-ROM disc. So I guess that's why it's so much, but that still seems like just a lot of money. PC Gamer was quite popular, more popular than this. We got 3D Pinball. Here's their order forms that you can order directly from them. And I actually used one of these at one time to get The Adventures of Willie Beamish for the Sega CD because they were marking it down, probably getting out of it. My guess is they dipped their toe in the Sega CD waters and then were like, we can make more money just selling our computer games. So that's probably why they didn't make too many Sega CD games. Here we have the Incredible Machine contest. The Incredible Machine was this cool kind of game where you had to use all these tools to kind of get from point A to point B. And here they have a contest where you can cut out these different icons and paste them in there. And guess what? The Incredible Machine's part of the buy two, get one free deal. What do you know? Mother Goose Deluxe. So now we're getting more in the kitty things. And guess what? Here's an advertisement for the buy two, get one free. Actually, buy two, get two free. So you got a different deal here. But gets kind of confusing. And great gifts under $15, which means it's their old games, buy our old stuff too. And here we got the education part because we are all for education. And guess what? This game right here is part of the buy two, get one free deal. Discovery Toys. I don't know a lot about Discovery Toys, but my mom bought me a marble set once where you had all these tubes and you'd set them up and put the marble in and drop it down and watch it like do all these cool things. I enjoyed it as a kid. We have Print Artist, which was trying to compete with Print Shop Deluxe. That was a really big name in printing back in the day, but it shows you just some of these pictures. I mean, they look really archaic compared to what you can do today, but back in the time, making print stuff like that was just groundbreaking. So let's go ahead, keep going. Hey, look, more advertisements. So we got there's the Phantasmagoria, 7 CDs, very controversial, very adult game. Daryl Gates Police Quest SWAT. They were starting to transfer the SWAT series from the Police Quest series. There's Football Pro 96 with my boy Barry Sanders on the cover. Run, Barry, run. I really wish he could have won me a Super Bowl. The Lions, not me personally. Let's see, we got more advertisements, and some of these pictures, we saw that picture for the Lost Mine of Dr. Brain before. So buy two, get a third free. So there they are telling you about it. Well, you got to pay the $5.95 shipping. This is kind of interesting too. We got a computer you can win here. And let's see, we got a Pentium 133 megahertz processor. This is the ultimate gaming system, mind you. 16 megabits of RAM, 3.4 gig hard drive, 6-speed CD-ROM, 16-bit sound card, 30-watt speakers, 17 Super VGA monitor. And they had a contest, and it says that the grand prize was worth, it's really hard to see, but $5,000. So yeah, those specs we laugh at today, but that was a $5,000 gaming rig. Can you believe it? Computers are really expensive. At this time, I think it was like $1,000 to $2,000 to get a decent computer set up. Daryl Gates, Police Quest SWAT, again, used to be called Police Quest. Now they're moving more action-oriented instead of point and click. Daryl Gates was I believe, the commander of the police over in L.A., and I think he may have came up with the whole SWAT idea. And he was also kind of famous or infamous for being in charge of the LA police when there was a little rioting and Rodney King and this truck driver got beat by several police officers, if I remember, and it was recorded and just hit all the stations. So here we have the full motion video being incorporated into the games. Now I like FMV games. I'm not against full motion games, but you could see the market was really getting kind of oversaturated with this idea. It was like the shiny new thing to do. And guess what? It's part of the buy two, get one free deal. How about that? Got an advertisement. Hey, look at Command. Aces is Deep, part of the buy two, get one free deal. There's my boy Barry Sanders. I guess this was supposed to be highly regarded, this front page sports football, but it's not Madden, so it's not around anymore today. You could win a Super Bowl-sized TV. You can't say Super Bowl. Don't tell the NFL. Let's see. Another advertisement for SWAT. Another thing about Trophy Bass. It just seems like a catalog that repeats itself. It really does, which is part of the buy two, get one free deal. Caesar 2, which kind of reminds me, looking at the pictures, of Civilization. Conqueror, so we're getting more in the strategy simulation games. Outpost, I've heard of that before, but I've not played it. Buy two, get one free. And look at this, tech support meets Windows 95. So what do you do when it's Windows 95? Will it run programs or not? And this article just covers all that. And this article proves why I was a console gamer, because one thing, I didn't have enough money to have a decent computer. But second of all, I just don't like dealing with all this when you change operating systems and all the things you have to go through to get a game to work. I like to plug and play. And that's one thing that a lot of computer games aren't, and especially back then when you had to go and mess with settings and stuff. Games you'll be playing in 1996. So yeah, we got some little bit of snippets. Probably the most interesting thing, and they don't give it a lot of space. And how about that guy right there? Does that look like a pro wrestler or what? I mean, he's even wearing the tights. He didn't even change out for this role. Urban Runner. Never heard of that. And here we go. Hey, look. Buy two, get one of these free. And what they were doing is if you bought two of these full price games, you could get one of these lesser price games. So let's see. But it doesn't mean they were bad. I'll take the Space Quest collection right there. Yeah, take that. That would do me just fine. And then we have Sierra's Top 10. Now, Nintendo Power would have a Top 10 kind of list, and they have Top 10 regular games and Top 10 for kids, but they don't tell you how they picked it. So it's possible that this was Top 10 based on sales, but it's also possible it was Top 10 based on what they wanted you to pay attention to. So again, Phantasmagoria was the number one game, and they may have wanted you to buy that. And going down, Gabriel Knights, saw some ads for that, saw some ads for Police Quad, saw some ads for Torrens Passage. So I just kind of get the feeling that they were just kind of trying to basically tell you what to buy. So there you go, the top 10. And let's see, and that is it. And you got another ad of Sierra. So what do I think of this game overall? Well, first of all, if you want to buy an issue of this, it's very hard to find these. It's very obscure. I didn't see a lot of examples on eBay. From what I did see, $5 to $10 an issue is what you'd expect to pay. That includes the shipping, so $5 is not too bad. Overall, though, it doesn't hold up. this is probably one of my least favorite magazines, and I actually had a subscription. Why? Because it comes across as just a catalog. It really does, and it repeats itself. And the features aren't really that interesting. You know, when you first got it back in the day, it was kind of interesting to look at. But so would I encourage people to look at this? Only if you're the hardcore Sierra fan. Now, what happened to Sierra was that in 1996, Ken and Roberta sold it to a company, and some estimates have it at $1.5 billion. So I don't know how much money they actually took home in their pocket, but Ken now spends a lot of time sailing the seas with his wife. They dabbled a little bit in writing, but they kind of left the computer industry more or less. So they left in 96. They stayed on for a year after the company sold, and then they left. And around the time they left is when, in my opinion, Sierra began to go downhill. And well, actually right around here, they're starting to go downhill because they're kind of getting away from the games I liked. The original Police Quest, the King's Quest. I think the last King's Quest game was actually more of a first-person shooter, which really strayed. You know, Space Quest, you don't even hear about today. Stuff like that they really built their name on, started to just go by the wayside. And a lot of these original products, they just didn't last. So they left a year after that, and you don't hear much about Sierra anymore. It was bought and sold a few times. It was part of Activision for a while, and now the name is basically dead. So $1.5 billion to dead. Isn't that interesting? But if you want to see digital scans of this magazine and other Sierra magazines, Ken Williams actually put a bunch of scans on his personal blog, and I think it's sierragamers.com is where you'll find it. And he put a bunch of these scans, so you can actually look at them for free and read out about them. He also has a blog now where he talks about where him and Roberta are sailing. So there you go, Sierra InterAction magazine. Of all the magazines you could look at, this is probably more towards the bottom. Loved old Sierra games. This one just kind of came across as a catalog. Hey, thanks for giving me some time. I would love it if you would click the subscribe button if you enjoy videos like that. That way you won't miss any future episodes of Retro Reviews with the No Swear Gamer. And also, you can follow me on Facebook, where I put all sorts of interesting pictures and questions and just like to interact with people on Facebook. So if you want to do that, go to facebook.com/the-no-swear-gamer. So anyways, hope you had an interactive time today, and I look forward to seeing you next time right here on Retro Reviews. Take care.